Let's talk about this Karen Read trial.
This is one of the most insufferable and dishonest takes on the Karen Read trial I've heard thus far. I'm going to do my best not to crash out here, but I'm about to absolutely cook this woman.
I just think that there was an instinctual gut reaction I had towards Karen Read. I think I read her immediately as one of the darker people that we have ever encountered.
Translation. So you didn't like how she looked, and you didn't like how she talked, and you drew your conclusion. And even in your analysis, it's not about the details of the case. It's about who you think she is.
I knew very little about this case. I knew that her boyfriend had been a police officer in Massachusetts. They dated for 2 years. His body was found in a snowbank. He claimed, and still does, that there was this wild conspiracy involving like the entire police force.
No, Maureen, it wasn't the entire police force. The evidence pointed to another Boston cop, his immediate family, and some of their close family friends, as well as several other local police officers of which they had long-term family connections. If you actually looked into this case, you'd see that a lot of the investigation was simply not done, aka looking the other way, by immediately blaming Karen, not doing the necessary interviews or detective work, and ultimately protecting one of their own for a powerful and influential local family.
Who had like tortured and killed him and left him out to die in the snow. And that never really made sense to me.
That never made sense to you because nobody ever suggested that he was tortured. The evidence in the form of lacerations to John's face as well as the dog bites on his arm, which were verified by 2 forensic pathologists, as well as the absence of any injuries consistent with a motor vehicle strike, which was the prosecution's theory of the case, led people to believe that there was a physical altercation inside the house, especially considering that there was eyewitness testimony that Karen was seen in front of the house in the car by herself with no body on the lawn.
But that she, this poor but glamorous, camera-ready and media-friendly woman named Karen Read, I mean, it is time for her close-up, okay? That's what was putting me off.
There it is. You said the quiet part out loud. Typical mean girl stuff. You didn't like that you thought she was prettier than you. Why don't you just say it?
The things that really like reflect the sober seriousness of this crime. You know, here she is outside the courthouse. A V for victory. Look at me. I'm in a tailored suit. I'm blowing kisses to my fans.
Oh my God. She's an adult with a tailored suit? That symbol that Karen and her legal defense team were making, it doesn't mean V for victory. It's the American Sign Language symbol for I love you. And since part of the court's direction was to not make noise in front of the courthouse, it was a way to acknowledge her supporters, not her fans. Because without not only the financial but emotional support of those supporters, the average citizen would have never been able to financially afford going to trial twice. She's saying thank you. Because she, unlike all the investigators in this case, actually wanted justice for John O'Keefe. But instead of following the evidence, people like you come in with half the story and talk about what she looks like and her suit. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Without these amazing supporters who have supported me and my team for almost 4 years.
You would think this was the Academy Awards. You would think this was the Oscars.
No, you would think that a human being who lost her boyfriend and her extended family in the form of his kids who she helped to raise just narrowly escaped with her life after fighting for it for 4 years against the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and a corrupt police force, who made it by the skin of her teeth thanks to hundreds of thousands of supporters around the world that cared about her trial, and no thanks to corrupt local entrenched interests and the media, only to have people like you come in and weigh in like she actually wanted this so that she could be an actress, so she could be famous.
Listen, sister, I think you killed that guy. I have reason to believe you killed that guy, as do many other people.
Oh yeah, what evidence do you have to prove that, Maureen? Go ahead, point to the evidence, because we'd love to hear it. Because 12 jurors of her peers that sat in that courtroom for months and listened to every single detail completely disagree with you.
And she's out here thanking her supporters and those poor saps, those idiots who donated their hard-won money to this piece of shit.
I'm going to take the high road on this one, but I would bet that hundreds of thousands of people around the world are disgusted by what you're saying. So, good job.
Don't weep for her, okay? You should not be giving her don't give her your money. Don't do it.
Too late, lady. We already did. and she won.
I'm going to quote you something that directly came out of her mouth, and it's such a vulgar piece of obscenity. Nobody's fought harder for James O'Keefe than I have.
You're so clueless about this case, you don't even know his name. His name is John O'Keefe. James O'Keefe is an investigative reporter. John O'Keefe is the person that all of us actually cared about.
Yeah, I mean, she's an actress, really. She's a dramatic actress who just never could have made it any other way. Look at what she's wearing. She's dressed in powder blue. What does she dress in? Powder blue. She's a martyr. She's the Virgin Mary. However this verdict was going to go, she was telling us one thing, that she is a saint. She is not a sinner.
Again with the close. No, Karen Read was more than forthright about who she is. And her message and her story, which is all she sought to tell, was very simple. I did not do this, and I got the evidence to prove it.
So she or someone on her team reached out to an online blogger, a grown man who goes by the name, I could not make this up, Turtle Boy.
Wrong again, what a surprise. Aiden Carney was a local high school teacher turned journalist, and he started a blog called the Turtle Boy Daily News. The Turtle Boy is a nickname for a local fountain and sculpture of a boy and a turtle, a nickname suggested to him by one of his students. The Turtle Boy branding is an homage to that sculpture in his local area, of which he covers with his journalism. Neither Karen Read nor anyone from her team ever reached out to Aiden, but one of his friends and a local police officer highlighted the story to him because he said that something didn't feel right. Aiden, aka Dr. Turtleboy, looked into the court documents and immediately recognized that his suspicions were true. Something was really off about this case. And through his compelling, consistent, and relentless journalism and seeking of the truth, he was instrumental in getting more eyeballs and ultimately supporters on this news story so that Karen could fight.
Read's fans, who are her cult members, really.
I think you mispronounced people who care about the truth.
So in short, I think, just my opinion, that Karen Read is guilty, that she exhibits what is known in psychology as the dark triad. This is the cluster of narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy, and that she is evil. I think she's pure evil.
Good for you, Maureen. Luckily, nobody cares what you think about this case. How did you get so many followers? Nothing says law and crime analysis like a bunch of ad hominem attacks talking about the clothes that she's wearing, forgetting the victim's name, and providing no evidence or theory as to why you believe this. Just going, well, she's evil and she wants to be famous. Absolutely pathetic. And I hope whoever follows you sees how disgusting and clownish this take was and chooses to unfollow. Thanks for your input, though. Great job.